Welcome to our live streams. This is where the grown-ups trade. No hype, no flexing, no TikTok guru nonsense. Just focus, discipline, and respect for the craft. Here we trade gold, the oldest store of value on Earth, at the precision scalping level. That's where trading gets real. Where a single tick too early or too late decides everything. It's the hardest style of trading there is. And the highest form, too, because it demands mastery of mind, structure, and emotion. Execution over ego. Reaction over prediction. Can it be the most lucrative? Yes, but only for those who earn it. There are no shortcuts here. You can't fake discipline at 10-second speed. Most gurus out there sell you dreams from their demo accounts. We build traders who can survive the market on their own terms. We don't promise easy wins. We teach you how to build a system that doesn't break when you do. If you're here, you already know what that takes. Courage, grit, gumption, the willingness to get punched in the face by uncertainty and still show up tomorrow with your rules intact. Because precision scalping isn't just a trading style, it's a mirror. It shows you who you are under pressure, and it forces you to get better, not just as a trader, but as a person. The focus you build here, the emotional control, the ability to act without hesitation, those are life skills. They translate everywhere. So welcome to the Barcelona Trader, where we practice the hardest craft in markets and one of the most rewarding in life. Let's get to work.
All right, lights, camera, action. Welcome, everyone. It is April 21st. It is 7:45 p.m. in New York, and we are here to trade the Asia session. It is Wednesday morning in Asia. The markets are getting going. Here at 8 p.m., we expect, of course, the markets are going to open in Tokyo and Hong Kong. And we're going to see if we can place some trades in gold and gold futures. So what we're looking at here, let's look at the charts. Let's see what we've got here. Let's bring the music down just a little bit. That's a little bit loud. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Now, the analysis is up on Facebook. You can check that out there, or you can, of course, join our Discord. You can go to thebarcelonatrader.com/live streams to figure out all of our indicators and how we set up our charts and what we're looking at here. But let me give you the rundown. Here is this is the 5-minute chart, but let me bring this into perspective. Let's switch it to a 15-minute chart so we can see a little bit more of the market structure. All right, so this vertical gray line over here is, you see my mouse getting big over here. Is it? Hello? No, it's not. Well, anyway, you see where I'm pointing to right here, this gray vertical line here. That is the market open yesterday, 6 p.m., 26 hours ago. Let's bring down the music a bit. Little smooth jazz in the background. How about that? Sets our mood, gets us into the zone. We're going to adjust the lighting and the camera here in just a little bit. But right now, I just want to go over what's on the charts, what we're looking at. So this is the chart right here. Like I said, that is the open. I'm going to get rid of the indicators so we can kind of see a little bit better what we're looking at here. Ignore this little white box here. We're gonna deal with that little sucker here in just a few minutes, but right now we'll just kind of get it out of the way and move it up here. All right, so the market opened up here. We came down all day. We kind of consolidated here from this looks like the Asia session right in here. Consolidated through the Asia session, then we came down pre-New York and into New York. Let's see, this is 10 a.m. right here. So New York started about right here, 8 a.m. right there. We came down again, bottomed out around the DS3 yesterday or earlier today, and now we've popped back up. Looks like a little bit of a technical rebound right here. Some profit taking, some people getting out of their sell trades. And so this vertical line right here is the market open at 6 p.m. Today, just a couple of hours ago. So this is the tape that is printed since then. It's been all bullish on Hakanashi candles. If we bring this down to the 5-minute time frame, we can kind of see what's going on here. We have pivots. The WM2 is right above us right here. Right up here, we're going to have the DM3. I'm pretty sure that's the DM3. No, that is the daily pivot point right there. So we have the WM2 and the daily pivot point right there. So we are below the daily pivot point. And below price right here, we have the previous day point of control. So that's earlier today. That's the point of control. And the value area low and the DM2 right there. So these are our pivots. Our pivots are our only predictive indicators that we have on the chart. Everything else is a latent indicator. It reads what the market has done, and it tells you whether it's been bearish or whether it's been bullish, whether it's choppy, whatever. All of your different indicators are reading what the market has already done and then trying to tell you what the market has been doing, but they are not predictive indicators. Our pivots are predictive. They indicate where the market is likely to stop, evaluate its life choices, and decide whether it's going to continue in the direction that it was going or turn around. Okay, so that is our 5-minute chart. I'm going to put the indicators back up and show you what we have here in terms of indicators. We have a regression channel, which is pointing down right now. That's the 2 dotted yellow or blue lines and a solid blue line through the middle. That indicates our downward channel that we're still in right now, unless things turn around and start going up. That's where we are. We have supports and resistance drawn in there. We have some zones, some swing highs and some swing lows pasted in there. We have a bearish zone right up here where some liquidity is lying. And we have, let's see, there it is. It's right there. It's this green little zone right here, which is our bullish volume. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. On this chart, we have over here on the left side, we have on top the 30-minute 10-year U.S. government bond yield, and on the bottom we have the 1-minute 10-year U.S. government bond yield. It's the same asset, T-bills, but seen on 2 different time frames, just so we can kind of have a picture of what it's been doing over a longer time frame and what it's been doing just in the last few minutes. And on the right side of the page, we have, or right side of your screen, we have the DXY, the US dollar. The dollar and the T-bill yields tend to move inversely with gold. So when it's going down, gold is usually going up. It's not always that way, but everything serves as a little bit of an indicator and a confirmation of what you're seeing on the charts. We have the gold volatility index, which isn't too bad right now, and we have the VIX, which is the S&P volatility index. Okay. And we're going over here to, this is our execution page right here. In the middle, we have gold futures. They operate on a slightly different price than spot. Spot over here on the upper left corner, you can see here price has changed. It's $47.39 for spot, and it's $47.57 for futures. But if I put the spot chart on 10 seconds, like I have the futures chart, you'll see that they, even though they're at different prices, they move in tandem with each other. They move right in tandem with each other. See how that's basically the same chart doing the exact same thing. So we do all of our charting on spot, but I do the trading on gold futures. You don't have to pay attention to that. If you're trading futures, you can enter with me. If you're trading spot, you can enter with me. The price action is going to be the same. If you make money on one, you're going to make money on the other. All right. And down here on the bottom, we have the 1-minute chart for the US dollar. Just like to keep it here front and center. Over here on the right, we have the Renko. This is my MT4, which I'm looking at. If you're looking here at me here on the camera, What you see here are my two PC screens. These two screens here are showing you exactly what you're seeing. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is my my charts are not updating here? Let me remember why that happens. So I've been flipping through charts and talking to you, and nothing's been changing. Nobody said anything to me in the chat. Let's see. Oh yes, I remember why this happens. Trading screen, show cursor. There we go. I don't know why that happens. Okay. Well, anyway, you've heard me talking about what we're looking at, but you haven't really seen it, so I'm going to have to do it a little bit again. What we're looking at right here, this white strip, this thing going, you know, I'll get rid of it. Boom, rid of it. Showing it again. All right, so this is my MT4. This is what I'm seeing over here on this side of my screen, but I can share it with you here on the execution screen because I'm pulling it in. I'm running it on a different computer than the one I'm broadcasting on, but I'm able to pull it in and show it to you. So this is what I have up in front of me all the time. I have all of the charts that I've already tried to show you up on the screens around me, and I have a screen right here, which is the, let me see if I can turn this a little bit this way here. This screen right here is my execution screen, and that's the screen that you are seeing you know, next to me here on the screen that you're watching. Okay. All right. So this is over here on the far right. I like to leave the Renko showing. That's on spot gold. It moves with price instead of time. And then down here at the bottom, I have the FX blue relative currency strength, looking at the differential between the dollar on the left and gold on the right. Right now, gold is stronger than the dollar, so that means we are in a bit of an uptrend. All right. Again, let me just flip through here. This is the 5-minute chart. This is what I was trying to show you earlier. Market opened right here at 6 p.m. We've kind of been coming up since then. We're at the WM2, and the daily pivot point is right there. It's that little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a very faint kind of purplish line right there. That's the daily pivot, and the WM2 is right there, and the monthly pivot point is right here. So in theory, because we have 3 pivots stacked right on top of each other, this should be a little difficult for price to move through, but it doesn't seem to be having a lot of problems right now. Okay, we've got 4 minutes for the 8 o'clock candle, which is when we officially start our session. So let's get in the groove, change our camera angle here, and dim the lights. There we go. And let's turn off this light here. And let's bring the room lights down, the overheads. There we go. Okay. Let's do some trading. Let's see what we're looking for here first. Gonna come back and look at this here on the 1 minute. All right. So we have topped out here at the daily pivot point. It looks like we're not pushing through there, at least right now. Oh, we might be turning around, coming back up. You can see that on this chart right here, this 10-second chart. We started to push up. That's what I was seeing. So if we come down, I don't think I want to trade within these pivots. So I mentioned that there was this white box that you didn't see because my screens weren't updating. But here it is. It's up here. I'm going to bring that right down here. And then we'll go back to our 1 minute chart. And we're going to put price in a box. It's just to let us know where price was when we sat down, but also to kind of delineate our no trade zone here. You know, actually, how much space is between that WM2, which is at 36, and this bull volume, which is at 34? Okay, so there's 2 pips that you could trade in here, but that's going to be too tight. I'm not going to try to take a trade there. So I'm going to go ahead and widen this box a bit and say that our no trade zone is all of that. And that's a lot. That is 8 pips, 7 pips. And it is what it is. It is what it is. We're not going to trade inside that zone. So, got nothing to do but sit on our hands and chat. So, if you have any questions, or maybe I can just go over what I already went over a little bit. There are days I feel more talkative than other days, so I'll kind of make up for it tonight. Tono isn't going to be joining us tonight for trading, so it's just us. And what we do here is we sit on our hands. Sit on our hands. Okay, we are going up with that. We're pushing out. That is the 8 o'clock candle right there. That's what's pushing it up. We have some momentum. Gonna get up above the daily pivot, aren't we? Yes, we are. Not ready to trade it though. Just that first 8 o'clock candle. We need to see how the market is gonna be reacting. Let's bring this down here. Still got that on the 10-second. I want that on the 1 minute. Dollar is dropping, gold is rising, just as we knew would happen. Okay, I do like that we're above the daily pivot. If we can keep going, then that kind of gets us out of the range, out of the zone of those 3 pivots stacked on top of each other. I don't like trading around there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get involved. Just a small little trade here to whet our appetite. It's not really going to give us anything right now, is it? Let's take a little $4 and make sure our trade copier is working. Got one somewhere that was not working. Well, that one it looks like. And that one. All right. I mean, that was really a break-even trade. That's not even counted, right? I made $4. That was just kind of to get ourselves going here tonight. Well, you know what? Why have a stats panel if you're not going to be completely transparent about it? Call that a break-even. Now I'm trading one micro lot. I'm trading it across a number of different accounts, but I'm trading one micro lot, so that's the way we tally our winnings or our losses. But we don't like to think about losses. Okay, well, the failed breakout to the top, maybe. We're coming back down into our little box. Back down to the pivot, looks like. See here on the 1 minute, our pivot is right here at the top of the box. So it looks like price is coming back down to the top of that box there. Or it isn't. Who knows? We need to just sit on our hands for a while. All right, so what I'm seeing here, you know, even if I were to trade this and say, oh yeah, let's take this back down a little bit. Right now, if I look at this chart right here, this one right here in the middle, right where my big cursor is, that is a 1 minute Hakanashi chart. You see I've got a big resistance right up here. I've got support down here. But this grayed out area right here, where price is currently in, when that grays out there, that's trying to tell me that we're in a bit of a choppy area. And, you know, if I want to take the trade, fine, but, you know, that's on me. Risk is on me. Now we're coming back down below that, and we're about to hit the pivot again, so I'm not going to get into that. Now, unfortunately, or depending on how you want to look at it, a lot of trading is not trading, knowing when to stay out. And that is most of the time. You trade when you can execute on your edge. So you have an edge in the market. You have circumstances, what we call setups, that when that setup presents itself, based on your trading experience or a system that someone has taught you, you know that you have a higher probability of X happening versus Y. So when a setup happens and you take a trade in the direction you think price is going to go, you have a better than 50% chance of it going in the direction that you want it to go in. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but those are the instances where you can make a prediction. You can take a bet, so to speak. It's not gambling, in the strict sense of gambling. It's not a game of pure luck. It's a game of probabilities, just like poker. So every other time in the market when it is not setting up into one of the patterns that you recognize, then those are times you don't trade. You don't have edge, so you don't trade. And I would say that is a more important skill than the actual trading skill. Okay, we are going up again, but again, like I said, we are pushing into a resistance here on this 1 minute chart right there. So I don't really want to take that. Price probably is going to push through it. It's more likely to go up than down right now, although you do have resistance there. That means there are a lot of sellers there that are trying to sell and push the price down. But what that means is for a buy, I don't have edge in this instance. Yeah, sure, it might go through. Probably will go through. But I can't count on that. It wouldn't be wise of me to place that bet. My phone is ringing. Spam risk. I have to remember to put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I'm trading. See how we pushed up into that zone right there? Well, there were two lines there a moment ago. There was and one resistance, we kind of broke it, but price reversed. That was the price of breaking it, was price reversing, coming back down. So we sit on our hands. We sit on our hands and we wait. If you do have questions and want to talk, now is our time. Type your questions into the YouTube chat, and I'll do my best. Now, price still wants to go up, but what you'll notice is down here on the lower right, the strength differential between the dollar and gold has changed. The dollar has gotten weaker, but gold hasn't really become intrinsically stronger. A weaker dollar will cause this to be bid up, but it might just grind its way up. And that's hard to trade. Well, as long as it's not choppy, it's not that hard to trade. But if it grinds and it's choppy, that's not a nice way to trade. Let's look here at the dollar though overall. Look how the dollar here has been coming down right here. It's very choppy here. I'm looking at the 30-minute chart up here on top right now, and you see it's come down. What we're seeing right there in that one candle is what we're seeing here in all of these candles coming down. That's all of these candles on the 1-minute chart. 30 of them are in that one candle right there. Yields are coming down too. So, you know, it's showing good signs that it still wants to go up. But if we look at this from a technical bounce kind of situation, and let's look at it here. Let me pull this up like this. Okay, so price opened yesterday, it came down, boom. Now we have some profit taking. This is going to come back up. Probably, you know, the daily pivot point is kind of where I was thinking it was going to stop, but if it pushes through there, it's probably going to come up to this area right here where it says bull volume. Why does it say bull volume? That should be bear volume, right? Well, anyway. Oh, I see why. Okay, never mind. All right, I'm just gonna putz around. Are we coming back down into the box? I don't know. Let's break this back down to the 5-minute. I like to look at it better on the 5-minute. When we're trading on such small time frames and doing scalping. Okay. So this range right here that we're trading in right now, from about 47.40 to 47.46, 47. So that's a 6 or 7 pip range right there. The same as our range down here. That is just barely a big enough range to scalp within. But in order to scalp within it, I really want to see price, making some smooth movements up and down. I don't like this chop here in the middle, because you think you're coming down, you get into the trade maybe about right here, you barely come down at all before you go back up, and then you're in the red. Then you come back down, and then you back up into the red. You just don't have confidence, so you get out of the trade maybe here, and then eventually it comes down when it would have paid you. So, not fun to trade that. Okay, now we're going up, stalling out again here in the middle. You can't trade that. I mean, somebody can. I don't, you know, it's not my style of trading. Not the way I trade. And so what I need to do here is avoid getting into a trade because I'm bored, because I am bored, right? Nothing going on, just watching the charts. And as I watch the chart, you know, my brain starts predicting what the chart's going to do next. And yeah, you know, I think I know I could get into a trade. Not going to make very much money because the movements are so tiny. And if it did happen to go against me, I could lose money. And again, I'm not trading with edge anywhere here right now. You know, even if we do come out below this, yes, so I'm back here again, right? So even if we do come out of this little consolidation zone right here, as soon as we come down out of there, we're running right into this daily pivot, which is right here. You see this on the 15-minute chart right here. If I make that big, this is the 15-minute traditional Japanese candlesticks, and price is sitting right there on the daily pivot. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Oh no. What have I done? There we go. All right, so again, we're in this consolidation zone right here. This white rectangle here is where price was when we sat down. So we're kind of in a zone 2 up here. Both of these zones are about 6 or 7 pips wide. We could be trading within either one of these, but it's too choppy. Down here in this zone, we're sitting right on the WM2 and the daily pivot point right there. So you don't want to trade in that zone. And up here, there's just, you know, I'd like it to get out of this, go further up, but we've got some resistances above us. We're looking at those right here. And so we really need price to, you know, mosey on out of this area before we take some trades. So we're just sitting on our hands a little bit. And nice to just be in the zone. Little jazz in the background. Very choppy if you look at it here on the 1 minute. Here on the 10-second, you know, it looks a little less choppy, but you know, you're not really going to get into a trade. So let's say you're down here at the bottom, you start seeing the candle here. I'm over here if you see my cursor. So you're down here at the bottom and you see the candle start going up. You've got a flat bottom candle there and you've got a flat bottom candle here. So you're thinking, I'm going to get into the trade right at the end of the, right as this candle closes. So bang, you get into the trade. Go up a little bit. I guess you'd get a good, I guess you'd get a little kind of a good trade there. Maybe stick with it. Probably come out of the trade here. I don't know. Definitely not. Definitely, it's a where the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. This is looking like an area right here where it could just fall from here, right? You're looking at it here, you'd say, okay, there was a support here. Now you're coming here, you could just fall. But don't forget, right at the top of this line here is our daily pivot. That's what this extended line going this way is. It's a little dotted purple dim line. You can barely see it, but that is the daily pivot point. And sure enough, hit that and bounced the other direction. Did not come down. That's why the pivots are predictive. Well, that's not why the pivots are predictive. The pivots are predictive. And that's why we have them on the screen. That's why we have them on the screen. That's why we watch them. As the dollar comes back up a little bit, that's where we can expect a little more of a possibility of a downtrend. All right, we've got 1 minute for the 8:30 candle. We'll see if we get a little momentum here. Let's see what's going on. So, I mean, I don't know. Right now it's looking like we should be going up more than down. But we do, right at this red hot moment, have the dollar increasing in value. Gold being priced in dollars, of course, means gold is going to be coming down slightly. And we don't want to trade on the way down because we're sitting right on top of the daily pivot. Right below that, we have the WM2, which is a weekly pivot, a significant weekly pivot. And then not too far below that. So here's the, if you're looking over here at this screen on the left, upper left side, right here at the top of this white box is the daily pivot. The WM2 is right here. And then just below that, we've got the monthly pivot point. There's definitely room to trade between here and there, but with those kind of stacked on top of each other, but also spaced out just a little bit, you're kind of stuck trading between those pivots. Okay, that's the 830 candle right there 15 seconds ago. A little bit of a push to the top. Yeah, I like it. I'm a little bored. Want to get into the trade, but going right up into a resistance right here. Right there. So I don't have edge. I get into that trade, I watch it turn right around on me. Oh, you'd think this was a Monday. This is just so slow. You know, on nights like this, it's, it might not even be worth sticking around. I do try to always stick around until just after 9, even if there's nothing happening. If something is happening, then of course I stick around longer than that. But Asia session is kind of slow. It's tempting to get into a trade when you're bored. Ugh. Okay. Stand up here for a minute and shake my legs. Market is just absolutely zombie. Just nothing going on. I mean, look at this 1 minute chart. Look at these candles. Look at that. It's an embarrassment. Barely moving. All right, now we're getting some movement to the downside, which is strange because the dollar is much weaker than gold right now. You'd think we'd be moving up, but someone decided to place a sell. And again, I don't want to trade it on the way down because we're running right into the daily pivot. And then just 4 pips below the pivot, we have the WM2. Now you don't want to take a sell trade right off the pivot. You want to get it, at least a pip or two away from the pivot with some momentum down. So that means you're going to get into the trade 2 pips at least below the daily pivot. And then you've only got 2 pips to go before you hit the WM2. And because that's kind of a zone, who knows? You could get chopped up before you even get there. So, no thanks. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Gonna push into the upside here. And that does give us some place to trade, but not right away because we're still pushing into this resistance zone right here. See where I'm shaking my mouse right there. All right, I'll think about this. I'm thinking about it. Thinking about a sell, but we're hitting that daily pivot. Why get into a bad sell? Know what I'm saying? All right, we'll take a little one since we haven't done anything for the night. Whoa, bad choice. Also, it is 1 minute to 9 o'clock. So you see, again, that was why I didn't get into that in the first place. Now let's see, if at 9 o'clock it shoots up, I'm just gonna get out of this really quickly. Otherwise, I will give it a chance to come down. But that's not looking super likely. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna get out of this because I don't want to risk being in this at 9 o'clock. So it just lets me out. There's 9 o'clock right there. Okay, gonna get out. Another break-even trade. All right, it's looking like there's not going to be anything happening here. We were waiting for that 9 o'clock candle to give us some momentum in one direction or the other, and nothing. Give it a couple more minutes here, but things don't shape up, then, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes it's about showing up. It's about being here. Something does happen, but also knowing to keep your powder dry if the market's not showing you anything. Can see that there's a little more volume in the market. Things have picked up a little bit in terms of, you know, movement. It's moving, but it's just stuck in this very tiny range, moving up and down between, you know, just a couple pips. Boredom overtakes you, and then you end up not trading intelligently. Okay, it looks like we're going to come down. But again, we're going to come where we're right on the daily pivot. Right below that, we've got the WM2 pivot, the weekly pivot there. So we're not going to take a sell. I took a boredom sell earlier. Broke even. No reason to do anything here. I think this might be all we do. I think we might call it here. This isn't going to move, and my brain's feeling a little fried. Don't want to get decision fatigue. Rather come back here in the morning at 7:45 and trade a good session. Right? So look for the YouTube notification. We'll be back at 7:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. And let's get this, our favorite outro music, going. Right? We like to do that. Here's our outro music. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow at 7:45. Thanks for joining me. Have a good night.